Cross-ExAnime 56.
He lies. It's episode 1.
Oh my god, really? We're starting over with this bullshit. Anime. It's
So Inspector.
no. God. We're talking about our A list. So we'll be talking about 86, Mushoku Tensei, Mieruko-chan, and Takt Op Destiny.
You can just say jobless.
Jobless reincarnation.
The time I got reincarnated as Truck Coon.
All right.
Oh, God damn it. I opened up the Play Store.
Look
at me.
86, man. They really know how to.
Yo, a fucking dude died. Fucking white hair dude. They're fucking like, yo, you like this character? He's going to be the new main storyline of this new nation. Boom. Shin just fucking blast him.
You like this man? His name's Eugene. He has an adorable little sister that he loves a lot and is trying really hard for.
He's like the only one
to see him die.
He's like the only one with an oddly Western name.
Yeah.
Like, you want a Western name? Eugene. Do you know anyone named Eugene?
My grandpa's middle name is Eugene.
Cool. Someone that's not 100.
Oh.
I know one guy named Eugene. Cool dude, but man. Even he says, yo, the opening still slaps. I'll say, we also found out that it's the same guy that sang the My Hero opening 2 and 3, I think. 3 confirmed, 2 I'm not sure. But I love it a lot.
It's definitely not 2, because 2 is Overworld doing Touch Off.
Maybe it was
or Odd Future.
I do want to say I love that they're still going through that officer training, and Shin's like, whatever, man. Like, who gives a fuck? Because he's still used to, I think, his highly mobile robots. Yeah. Which I do refer to them as iron coffins when the new nation tries to remake them. Like, yo, they're like your old ones, but better. Yeah. Cool. Aluminum coffins. What? Yeah, like, they want us to die in these things. And now it's coming to bite them in the fucking ass. What is their original nation called? The Federation?
The Republic.
The Republic?
Yeah.
Man, like, so much shit happened this episode. We'll go faster this time than compared to last time. Also, in the process of making these new machines, even Shin's like, yo, these are really hard to operate, and, like, you have to really know what you're doing. And they casually like, yeah, it's killed, like, 12 test pilots. Anyways, it's like, 12 people have died in the process of making this shit. Like,
death rate is, like, what, over half. Basically, they've
like
just
the test pilots
had to continuously like.
But of course, Shin and them are like, yeah, we know how to work this shit. Like,
yeah, because they're like overly experienced.
I have that model kit of their new one, the Artie one, which I was like, oh shit! Like, I thought that was like something I missed in the first part of the season, but nope, it's part of the new ones. Like, every single one each of them got is specialized in something. So at least they all have like highly mobile, highly special. Minus I really should have been writing down all the names. Redhead chick. Hers is like an arty one, but she can like choose where the arty. Yeah, hers are like very highly specific. One of them has, well, one has missile arty. One has like artillery in the traditional sense. And the rest of them are more highly mobile, like even more mobile than what they had before. Yeah. Because the current tanks that this nation's been using are like big
Federation. Yeah. Like Federation B is technically like
the big, like bulky, like they'll take hits, but they do a lot of damage, but they don't move. And then they realize like maybe some smaller elite forces are the way to go.
And they definitely show like.
I was wearing this hat this whole time. Yeah. I forgot. Should have said something. It has a phone number on there. So I guess I'm just not. Oh, I can't even cut to myself.
I mean, you can. It doesn't matter.
I don't want the phone number in there that when we upload it.
Oh well. But yeah, they're very like top tier. Of course, they immediately like blaze through officer training. Like it's so like non-important that it basically skips the officer training. Yeah,
you know like, that they're going to be what? It's like 5 minutes of the whole show, and then it's a whole bunch of rambling on base because they're building up for this massive fight. Also, best boys back of the season, Fido.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. That week, he was in the top 10 of best boy. And I was like, let's go, Fido. Let's fucking go. Oh, I fucking love Fido so much.
It's super cool to like see some of that. I was surprised because we went through 3 episodes. We're up to like episode 5.
Excuse me, we're up to episode 16. Because this is technically the second part of the first season, so this is actually episode we got to episode 16.
But it's separated into like 86 part 2 on my anime list.
Dude, so many people died. Like like episode 14, the first of the second batch or whatever. Mm-hmm. They point out like, oh, we have like this monument. We cased it off to show like,
because we found your juggernauts, and then there was a case in it with a bunch of names, which is all the people that Shin has put out of their misery and basically destroyed the brain.
Well, even a lot of them isn't put out of misery. It's just like made sure that their brains can't be used.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yep, here you go, all 575. And it's like, ooh. And that's just people that Shin got their tags of. That's not even everyone Shin's probably met.
Yeah, which is an insane number.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard because, of course, animation, like stuff, you don't ever truly get the grasp of how many, like, tags are in there where you're like, oh, there's a lot, where it's, like, maybe, like, 30, 40 or so. And then when they're like, here's the monument of, almost 550, like, it's like, fuck me, man.
Yeah. 575, Justus.
575.
Give him some credit.
So, yeah. Well, almost 600 is still, like, a insane amount.
Yeah. Rip to Eugene Rance. That's his name. Dude, that was, like, out of
Lance. Lantz.
At one point it was spelled Rance, and that's what I saw on screen. So it might have been a typo there. Yeah. Well, it could have been a typo in the translation notes. I'm not going to give him knock on that because let's be honest, it was like a 1 second. Man, Shin had to fucking shoot him, and that was like kind of emotional. It's like because Shin just got his gun back too, the one he's been having to kill people with, and he had to kill Gene. And I don't think the newer people in that whole battalion realize what Shin's doing or what he has to. It's like, oh, you could have gotten help for him. It's like, listen, that man's arm was all the way in another place. Like, I didn't realize at first. I thought someone else was holding it. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's his arm.
Yeah. Well, one of the other soldiers did, thank you for putting Matt out of his misery. Because, like, it's the younger guy. Of course, there's, like, tensions there because, well, go figure, the Reaper is really, like, living up to his name. And, like, even the whispers of, like, oh, like, he's some kind of Reaper kind of thing, which is kind of cheesy, but, like, also, like, makes sense and sticks with the point of him. The more emotional one was, like, oh, you could have helped, but the older, like, very clearly combat used to guy was like, thanks for putting him out of his misery.
Some other big points on the...
Also, I don't know if you noticed, but they cut over to that dude later in episode 15, and he's being, like, life-lighted he's all fucked up from the big battle.
Yeah. Some big points to hit on before we move on to the other shows. Shin seems like he's actually starting to get some kind of PTSD from, when you go from fight to calming for a couple months to now back to fighting. But they do show off... what was his name? Actually, I wrote it down. Kiri. So our little girl, Frederica, whatever her name is, she actually was part of the kingdom that made the Legion, but the Legion was supposed to be a defensive thing, but then they turned it into an offensive thing. You find out that people revolted and the Legion turned on the people trying to save the royal family, which is like their main objective. So now... you figure out why the Legion's doing what it's doing. It's just going after everyone because that's what it last knew. It's like, oh, we're supposed to kill everyone to keep her safe. And one of the people that is probably that guy in the scene where you see the blue eye, because you see Shin. There's a scene where the guy turns his head, you see the blue eye in the opening theme, and then you see Shin fighting. I guess it's going to come down to Kiri. Same thing like his brother. His mind is being controlled and is in one of the robots. That'll be probably where they go with the show. But you see Shin starting to turn kind of into what happened to Kiri, like get too caught up in the fighting, too caught up in the killing, and then just loses it. And even Frederica says like, oh no, you're just like Kiri, Shin, like fuck you. Then they have this massive fucking fight. And then, of course, Shin and his squad repel it. They just fucking go to town. That's what we're talking about. They just own people. But then you see our original group of people with, our main girl, whatever her name is. You have it up.
Oh, the Lena?
Yeah, Lena. And she, besides the whole talking scene, you find out the Legion is just plowing through their lines, destroying everything. And they're coming for the actual nation. Like, they're attacking the homeland, not just the outskirts of it. And she goes fucking full on, OG.
Yeah. She
takes control of all 86 pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, everyone listen up. And they have this whole big sequence where it's like probably 1,000 different Legion fighters or 86 pop up on her scope of things.
Mm-hmm. She basically had inserted the master key and was like, all right, here we go. Which I do think the conversation with her uncle basically was very important, because on the news broadcast, basically there was a split second where they show part of what would be close to their inner city, or the outskirts of the city. Yeah. Basically on fire. And that's because Legion is really there at the doorstep. And the Republic built up such a level of a lie that everything was going fine. Everything was going to be over, that now that they're right at the doorstep, the uncle basically has the opinion of let everyone die. There's no point. You're not going to be a hero at the end anyways.
It's very similar to what the Nazis do. They're trying to make that connection of this is more of a fascist kind of society of there's no point in fighting, letting everyone go through all that pain. Just let everyone fucking die. Let it be over with in a day or two, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Which is super fucked up anyways.
Yeah, and their main girl's going to organize this whole defense. I mean, she has very, very skilled pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's in charge of everyone, I imagine what's going to happen is they're going to lose most of the pilots from the 86 region, but they're going to stop the attack. And then my guess is Shin's going to fight his way to them, because it's not that much to fight that way to them. They even said it yeah, you guys traveled for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was a week in their time because they were trying to avoid the Legion.
Yeah.
But if you fought straight there, you could probably do something.
Yeah.
Plus, the nation they're in is way, way more prepared for all this shit. I mean, they got fucking forward big bases, jet,
Mm-hmm. It was 2 weeks, the area that they fought through, it was cleared out in 2 weeks and is under full control of Federation B. And
they're where we originally found the Juggernauts, we fully cleared it. We're moving that way still. Mm-hmm. So my guess is there's probably they'll do a couple episodes of going to go help her.
Yeah.
But the Legion was attacking every nation, especially the nation they were from 3 directions. So.
Mm-hmm. And
a lot of people are going to die. You'll probably see this big shift of people finally realizing what's going on.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me on the Republic's front, and then we'll kind of move on. Lena's probably just going to take control of everything. At what point do you look at the one person who's been right all along and be no, go away?
Yes. Well, there's other people that are working with her to probably do. It's probably a government coup. That's why her uncle had the gun inside there. Plus, you could see his clothes were tethered.
Yeah.
So he must have been doing some fighting.
Mm-hmm. So it's super interesting to see how that develops, especially because we hadn't really seen her in a couple of episodes.
I mean, if the Legion does attack, a lot of people are going to end up jobless. Maybe they might,
Stop with this
jobless reincarnation, dude. Dude, the show is so fucking good. They literally start... Okay. I gotta point something out. I don't remember how to say her name specifically. There is literally the episode 13 comes out, right? This is right after Rudy gets the demon eye, the episode after. You find out why you see Roxy, his old teacher in the background, is running and doesn't see him. She was actually running away from something. You find out she's been in the town for a little bit. They're looking for Rudy. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of why she's in the town. She's not in the town adventuring. They're looking for Rudy with some of Rudy's parents' old adventure buddies, which is a dwarf and a big titty hot elf MILF thing. And I say that way because literally the entire episode is just her wanting to get banged by multiple people. Not Roxy, the elf chick. There's literally a point where she's in the bar, like going up to a whole bunch of lizard people like, hey, what are you doing later? You want to go questing later? And then there's literally a scene where she's in an alleyway. She's like, hey, you have any info about this kid, Rudy, blah, blah. And it's like a really alleyway where she might get mugged. And she's a pretty good adventurer if she hung out with Paul. And literally at one point, her negotiations to this one guy that hasn't said a word, he's looking at her. She just takes off her bra, drops it on the ground, hops on him. And it's like, I guess they're banging in an alleyway. I guess this is what's going on. And then 10 seconds later, Roxy is running away from, she sees two of Rudy's companions, a Superd and a girl in red hair, which is one of Rudy's partners. Superd is like, how do you describe them? They're like super, super strong fighters. Like they're known, like one Superd could take out an entire city by themselves. Like they're feared. And Roxy finds out, oh, that's one of them. I need to run because she thought he saw her. She runs back to like the inn that they're staying in. So you get the scene blacked out, obviously, but you still get the outline of it. 5 guys next to this elf girl's bed, and she's going to town, and Roxy's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, Roxy, it's not what it looks like. And Roxy's like, there's five guys? And then she's like, I can explain, Roxy. And then Roxy blows a hole in the fucking tavern. And the elf girl's like, what? I was trying to find out info on it. Roxy's like, how could you be doing that with 5 guys? And you can still see Roxy's innocent because she's like early teenager, like maybe 13, something like that. She's like, I want someone tall, skinny, handsome. Yeah, I'm going to be under attack. He's going to come and save me. We're going to hang out a little bit and then we'll fall in love. And I'm like, oh, she's just basically talking about Rudy at this point. 5 fucking dudes. I mean, that was pretty much it of that episode.
Did she get the intel she needed?
No, she didn't get any of the intel she needed. She was just there to fucking... Literally the whole episode, this elf girl's just trying to fucking bang people, and Roxy's trying to actually find Rudy. To where we move on to, like, the next episode. I'm going episode by episode, because each episode really, at this point, is kind of its own thing. Kind of intertwines, but not really. Mm-hmm. In the second episode, they need to smuggle the Superd, his comrade, across the ocean, because people can't find out it's him. So they pay someone to smuggle him basically across the ocean. Rudy and Eris, I think is her name. They find their way across the ocean and they meet up with him. And they go down this dungeon. You get this, like, so far this season, the show's been kind of like somewhat serious, somewhat fun, to now they're walking through a smuggler's ring and you see these like kind of animal girls that are children. And one of them screaming for help. It's so guttural. Like she's screaming for help, 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 crying. Rudy sees her get punched. Rudy's like, oh, that must have hurt. Like, I'm sure she'll be okay. Which she's not. Then you hear her get basically stabbed. And you hear her slowly dying from being stabbed. And then you find out when you meet the Superd. Because the Superd guy, his whole background is like, I want to make our name better. Because they're known for being violent and pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. And he is very, very, very for saving kids. Like, he's like, if there's a kid in danger, we're going to go help no matter what. Otherwise, he's pissed. Mm-hmm. So he's tied up, has a thing over his head. Rudy has this, like, dilemma of, we're in the middle of an enemy's base. These guys have kidnapped these kids. You know, we should just leave. And then he agrees with his friend. And his name is Ruji, something like that. And he just fucking murders everyone in that fucking base. He's like, I'm going to save these kids no matter what. Rudy's down there trying to save these kids, get them to safety. Ruji's over there literally murdered everyone in the entire fucking base. They're saving the kids. They're taking them back. And the kids are like, oh, there was this dog in there. Like, there was this magical dog. Rudy goes back to save the magical dog by himself. And then Ruji's like, make sure you be careful. And that's where the story leads. Ruji gets captured by the fucking animal people's leaders because they think he stole them when he didn't. And then this whole thing of Rudy's in prison. He's basically, I wrote this thing like, listen, you got to stop with the naked little boy thing. Like, he's naked for like half this episode, just in a cage. Meets this random dude that also gets thrown in prison. And that's where it takes us to. It looks like he got older. They did this animation thing where like he's trying to act like the boss. And for a second, I thought like they had done a time skip of like years because he looked like a teenager now instead of like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go back to him being a kid. I'm like, okay, so it wasn't a skip. The smugglers then attack this city because they haven't killed all the smugglers. This is where they're getting all the animal children from. Rudy saves them, and then all's good. The animal people, it's very emotional, sad. Rudy helps them. They help him. And the best part of the story is they go to this holy city. And this is where their next stop is. Rudy's like, yo, we're going to live in this city for a while because they're still trying to get home. They originally got teleported to like some far off nation and they're on their way home.
Mm-hmm.
And Rudy's like, yo, okay, we'll work here. We'll build up money because the quests pay really good. So let's make all of our money we need for the ride home here. That way we don't have to like spend months in another city grinding just to live. Here we can make all the money we need. And that's where Rudy runs into his dad. His dad that's been looking for him. And you find out at this point, oh, he's been gone from home for 1.5 years. And his dad this entire time has been looking for him. And you have this real moment of Rudy thinks the only people that disappeared in this beam were him, Eris, and her bodyguard. Because this beam came out of nowhere and everyone disappeared. And they never tell you that the entire village got taken out by this beam. And maybe they did show it and I just don't remember it. And then Rudy and his dad have this huge fucking fight about like, Rudy, you've just been fucking goofing off for the past 1.5 years. More worried about your girlfriends than you are your mother and like your sister being gone. And Rudy's like, I didn't know. Like Rudy at this point is like maybe age like 12, maybe 11 or 12. No kid's worrying about the entire city or thinking about that. He's a horn dog. It's literally a scene where he's like, yo, I know I've been helping you with the seasickness. She's like basically half undressed. Eris is. He goes to the bathroom. Obviously jerks one out. Comes back. She's like, you smell funny. He's like, oh, I don't know what that could be. No, but right now where we're at in the episode is Rudy comes to realization that he needs to find everyone else in the town. And that's what they've been doing. Like his dad points out, like, you know, we kidnapped this person because this is someone from the town. So we had to kidnap someone that was kidnapped. And Rudy comes to terms of like, oh, so now we got to start saving everybody from the town. Well, it's not about working our way home anymore. It's about saving everyone from the town originally. Which is why I went to look up, like, how many volumes is this? And they're on like volume like 25 has been digitally made, not physically made. And then I read a small spoiler there, which kind of, they didn't have it blurred out, which makes me mad. I was just wanting to read like the description of like where they're at. But I think so far we're on volume 4. So we're 17 episodes in and we just finished volume 4. So we're going to get obviously 100 episodes at least of the show, which it deserves. It's a good isekai. I mean, they do nod like, oh yeah, it's an isekai, but that's my basic rundown of it. I like it so far. I think I'm excited. I think it's one of the better, stronger shows of the season. Not as strong as 86, though. I think 86 is probably up there for one of the best shows.
It's an 86 animation. We didn't even really talk about it. It's so good. Those fight scenes look so
well,
good.
Even the side scenes. Like, that's how we described that Battle Game in 5 Seconds did a terrible job because they had too many still frames and the only thing that would move is their mouth. 86, as they're talking, doing nothing, just offhand comments, there's stuff going on in the backgrounds. There's still, like, something happening. Yeah, it's pretty scary. I mean, Mieruko-chan's pretty scary, too.
I want to quit.
Quit, you won't.
Mieruko-chan.
It's gotten less sexual, and I'm so happy about that. I don't think the show needs to be sexualized any bit because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
We did have, like, kind of, small bits of it. She was naked at one point, but even those, like,
that's like a bad thing. Yeah. It wasn't like her reaching for a bottle of salt, and it's like, well, you can see those panties through, like, that. I guess it would be pretty short. Not a lot happened because Mieruko-chan is like that slice of life horror kind of thing. There isn't an overarching story like there would be with like I'm trying to think. It's not like what's it called? Higurashi no Kokurai.
There you go.
I was trying to think of how to say it properly.
I mean, you could just say Higurashi and most people would know.
Yeah. But at least Higurashi has like an overarching, like something does happen from episode to episode. So far, like in these 3 episodes, it's just been her being scared. Then she finds out there is a way to kind of like fend off the demons, which is like wearing like the prayer beads. Except for some of them, those prayer beads just fucking blow up, dude.
Yeah.
Like she even tried on the strong ones. There was that old lady in the shop. She's like, yo, I put like the peak, like, what'd she say? Like
the like energy from my peak. Like they've been stored here this whole time.
Yeah, this is the strongest prayer beads I have.
Glowing, shining. You can see the symbols on them. She puts it on her hand. It
worked for like 5 seconds, to be fair.
And then just fucking blew up.
The thing blew up and injured that lady. It like fucking shrapneled everywhere. And that was kind of weird, like seeing that one monster was that strong.
I'm assuming some of the bigger ones like that, like in one of the last episodes, Uriah, it's the little girl with the blonde red.
Same grade.
You find out that she can see them.
Well,
they're much fainter.
Well, you find out the old lady can make out the aura of them. The girl can make out the aura kind of big ones, but can only really see tiny ones. But Mieruko-chan can see all of them, which is crazy because it's only a threat if they can see the bigger ones.
Yeah, and oh boy, there are just those moments where she's like, I want the prayer beads, because of course she's like running into the problem now of even during the day when there's not one around, she's thinking people are one or just getting like.
It's hard for her to distinguish because she's seeing the stronger ones, and the stronger ones can hide better. Also, Mieruko-chan's eyelashes are fucking thick with like 8 C's. There's that one scene where she wakes up and they're just like Gussarola thick. But I like the show because like it seems like every 8 minutes it's kind of its own thing. So you're literally getting like kind of 3 mini episodes and one bigger overarching episode. But I guess one of the saddest things, the most depressing part of what was that? The episode 4? It's episode 5.
Yeah,
the most recent episode. You don't realize this, and this is why the show is so fucking good. There is a demon monster in the kitchen while they're having breakfast. And
it's a big one.
Yeah, it's huge. It takes up like the whole room. And she's not eating any food. And then at one point you're like sitting there like, oh, she's not eating any food. Monster's going to catch on to her. And the whole family's having a conversation. Mom, dad, brother, her. And then you get to the point where she's leaving for the day. She's like, no, I'm not hungry. Then she goes back to get the pudding that she had bought like earlier in that episode. She takes the pudding and then she sets it down on a shrine that has her father's face. You're like, why is she putting it there? Her father's right there. Then you see like her father slowly like becoming translucent. You're like, oh shit, her dad was dead the entire time. That's why they're talking about the fucking pudding thing.
Yeah, because he starts walking forward and he basically acknowledges that he knows that she can see him.
Yeah.
And
well, the thing is they're having a conversation that when you go back and listen to it, because I listened to it, it's like, oh, this could have been a conversation only those three were having. But the dad's line, because no one's actually directly responding to him, he's just saying offhand comments like, oh, don't bully me, blah, blah, blah. And that's where you get kind of sad of like, oh, she's still seeing some good spirits, but man, it's kind of rough watching some of that because you're like, oh, she can see her dead dad, which probably made her so happy because there's a point where she's crying and you realize, oh, she's not crying probably because of that big monster. She's crying because of her dad. She can see her dad again and talk to him and listen to him.
Yeah, and of course that's going to be like pretty hard because it's not like anyone else can see. And I think one of the interesting things that the show has done is establish, yes, of course, like the monsters are scary. Like sometimes the shenanigans that she gets into is kind of funny with them. For instance, oh, we're going to take a shortcut to this like bun place.
Yeah,
and
full of buns.
At one point, there's literally a line where it's like, oh, it's just like eating ass, basically. And it's like, how do you know what like eating ass is like? Okay.
She said it's like eating butt. She's like, well, do you know what eating butt's like? And they just like never acknowledge it again. They're just like, someone eating ass over there?
But like the
Drive
big,
fast, eat ass.
the big monster that is there, which eventually like follows her and is the one that destroys all the prayer beads, like, you know, getting her head stuck and like walking through them and like all of that, those kind of shenanigans, where you're like, all right, so there's like, you know, they're expanding of like, there's little tiny versions which they don't really do anything. They're just nuisances kind of thing. Then your average ones, and then the more powerful ones. And then within the last like episode and 2, they've established like you've already seen some of the good spirits with the cats and
even
like stuff like that. But the people themselves, like you were saying, the one that could just see the aura, one could that can kind of make out the stronger ones, but can easily see like the weaker ones.
There's one theory I kind of had. So there's good and bad spirits. The good spirits are like more of a white kind of aura, kind of like heavenly, and the bad ones are the like, it's like black, kind of more of a hell thing. Like there's a black aura around them. Mm-hmm. But there's a point in one of the episodes where Mieruko-chan helps an old lady. Mm-hmm. And the old lady has a hard time remembering stuff because her, you know, deceased husband was the one that like, when he was still alive, she had like a very sharp brain, but he died and she just kind of like turned decrepit. But at one point he walks up, like there's the old lady, Mieruko-chan's helping an old lady, and the old lady's like, oh, what's that phone? Is that internet? And then Mieruko-chan's like, ooh, I gotta go. There's a monster like looking right at me. He's saying numbers and stuff. And I kind of acknowledged him. And you find out that's her husband telling her 4 numbers, which is a combination to the safe inside the house. Old lady opens the safe, puts the comb on that her husband gifted her because she could never remember the combination to the safe. And then the old lady, boom, hops back into like her prime years of super sharp, super nice. Like
some people are like that, by the way.
Yeah,
like
dementia's a weird,
yeah.
Dementia's really real weird disease. But it's like you're watching that and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, kind of sweet. But he looked like a bad demon. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you see him, 5 minutes later in the episode, being eaten by that cake shop again, by that other monster. So I wonder if those people in line being eaten are spirits that have fulfilled what they needed to do, and now being eaten is them like fully being gone.
Yeah,
I don't know what the whole eaten thing is.
Yeah,
because there is lore behind this. They already established some of the demons you see are established already.
Mm-hmm. And that I think is kind of the most interesting thing currently about the show is you're still expanding on what you would already expect. It could just easily be, oh, she gets scared. Oh, there's some horny scenes. Oh, there's some comedy stuff, and then move on. But you're still getting all of these drops because even the one thing that you hadn't mentioned yet is after the old lady like really snapped in and was like, let's go make pork miso soup right now. Like, come on, dear. Talking to her daughter. The quote unquote evil spirit walks up to Mieruko and says thank you and then leaves. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. So I'm
just trying to pull up if people like this, I was trying to look up who actually made it, but I hate their mobile desktop site. I need to open the app.
Which studio makes it?
No, I'm looking up. There's a show called Mushishi. If you remember, that was like a mid-2000s thing?
Like 2008?
Yeah, it was like 2007? Yeah, it was around that time, like when we would have been. I think like season 2 of Mushishi came out in like 2011, 2012, like in high school-ish. But
2005.
Yeah, but they had like a season 2 like way later.
Yeah. Zoku Shuo?
Yeah, so
that was 2014.
If you guys like something like this, like kind of a monster thing, but I was about to say, yeah, she needs to find a Mushishi. Like the show Mushishi, it's this guy that goes around getting rid of demons or how to like free demons from their bond of earth. Mushishi, great show, especially the English dub. Same guy that did the voice for Roy Mustang. That's how I found out about it. I was like, oh, I like his voice actor. What else has he done? But man, this girl really needs to find a way, like a church or something. I wonder how it's going to end, though, because we're 5 episodes in, and they're kind of establishing, because just in episode, 4, they just established, people can see it. We don't know how to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out if the other girl, the third chick, Uriah, if she's actually gonna be friends, because she can see the lesser ones.
Yo, Mieruko-chan really isn't the buff dudes. She put that bitch in a fucking chokehold.
I mean, look, honestly, that kind of was the reasonable thing, because if she would have, she couldn't see the big one, and she totally would have died.
Mieruko-chan, I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to come down to, Uriah getting in a fight. Let's say in 3 episodes, Uriah's going to get in a fight with Mieruko-chan. You tried to kill me, I'm going to try and kill you. It's no, it's all because of this big demon. I feel like Uriah's finally going to be able to see the big demons. Because Uriah can see the average size ones, but not the huge ones.
Yeah. When she was passing out, she could make it out better. But I don't know if she realized it.
I wonder if it's going to be a thing like 86 where if you've been close to death, you can see the bigger ones because you've been closer to dying.
Maybe.
Maybe that was the turning point, almost being fucking killed. Yo, Mieruko-chan, I heard you killed a girl. No,
Hana.
Yeah,
I heard you choked a girl out in gym class and killed her.
It's nah, didn't kill her. It's you just admitted though.
Oh, that was pretty funny. Do you want to know what's also pretty funny?
No,
nothing in my life.
Oh, I mean, you like music, don't you? Music's pretty good.
Stop it.
What?
No. So the next one is Takt Op Destiny. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yo, that ass shot in the last episode when she's hanging out the train. It's yo, what the fuck? Was that necessary? Because that was a solid 30-second shot of just her bending over outside the train. The fucking Reddit on it went crazy to yo, didn't know she was dummy thick. I'm guys, come on, dude. Takt Op, you actually find out more. So they do confirm that the Anna. Or what was her name?
Who?
The little girl.
The little girl?
The
Cosette?
Girl. Yeah, Cosette. The Cosette is actually dead. Or they kind of say she's not Cosette anymore. She's now Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So they did kind of confirm she's dead, but she's not dead. So I'm kind of confused on that part. But it's pretty cool because you get to see so what happened with Cosette is not natural. It's never happened before. She's not supposed to be awakened by herself. She's supposed to be found by someone like us, taken back to New York.
The Symphonica being us.
The Symphonica, yep. And they're supposed to awaken their powers naturally. And then you find out Cosette, her powers are unnatural. So episode 4 is literally, or episode 3 is literally her kind of going berserk. And you find out obviously she is tapping into Takt's life force. So it's pretty interesting. You learn everything you really need to know about how they become, what they are, what's happening in episode 3.
Yeah. Also,
and episode 4 is just training day, basically.
Yeah. When they were even describing some of the stuff in episode 3, because you get introduced to a character, Lenny, who's kind of explaining some of that. He's with the Symphonica. I had that I get it, because she's oh, my name's Destiny. It's from the song, whichever.
Yeah, their names piece are based off of the musical piece they're part of.
Uh-huh. And that's where I was oh, now I get the name, because Takt is that, and then Destiny, but the OP stand basically the opening Destiny.
My name is Diamond.
Yeah.
Thank God she didn't awaken in a strip club, because fuck, man.
Hi, my name's Candy.
What's a Post Malone song to be going on?
Yeah. Why is there this charge for Candy with an I?
My name is Godzilla.
Thankfully, it's all classical. But
it's classy names.
Yeah, you also do kind of realize why he struggles so much, because it looks like she's basically feeding off of his life force compared to...
He has a huge scar on his hand. Mm. And I feel like it was an offhand comment, but it's important. They're okay, you can still play piano. And I'm why is that important? Why did they say that? Because so far in the show, they haven't said something that hasn't meant something yet. And so far, that hasn't meant anything.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of already means something anyways, in a world where music can't really be played. Those individuals who have the skill to play piano or like an instrument, like if they couldn't do that, you're still theoretically losing something valuable.
Well, I wonder if like, because the guy knew nothing about him playing piano. No one had mentioned he played piano. His piano wasn't there.
They did establish later, like he totally knew who he was because of his dad, who was very famous.
But I'm just saying, like, maybe like it's gonna pay off later. Like, maybe they're gonna do that thing like Guilty Crown did. Did you ever watch Guilty Crown? No. Fuck. God damn it, dude. You need to watch Guilty Crown. It's like this, but like better. Guilty Crown is pretty fucking good. This is pretty good. But
the last time I heard someone talk about Guilty Crown, they said it was the poor man's Code Geass, but
I mean, you have the gods, Justice, and then you have, the other shows. You're gonna tell me Code Geass isn't a god tier show?
I mean, it is.
It is. Nothing's gonna be like Code. Well, to be fair, Code Geass came out way before that did.
Yeah.
Is Code Geass part of the golden age of anime?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's like right at the tail end, right?
07?
Yeah. So right before stuff just really went to shit. Besides that, so this is like Code Geass if it was just shit.
No, well, I mean, if Geass power was manifested as a human being, that you
with a magic wand.
Yeah, and you had a magic wand, and like one of the conductors is totally fucking his like music card. Come on, like that man is totally fucking.
He commands her with that little wand, like what that wand do?
No, what I'm not even talking about Lenny. I'm talking about Schindler, the dude on the train. He totally fucks his.
Yeah, he definitely. I want to see what happens with the one in white armor. What was her name? The one that doesn't have a conductor. She obviously has a thing for our boy. For Takt.
I mean, it could be like that. He eventually has.
This is some like fucking Sekirei shit at this point.
After that, or maybe Anna could like have one.
That's true. She could, but I think don't you? Well, the thing is, I don't know if they have to originally. I don't know
Anna
if they
does know how to play music.
Well, I wonder, do they have to have that power in them, or can anyone become a conductor? Because I feel like almost anyone could become a conductor, really.
Mm-hmm.
There is one important scene in the entire 3 episodes that Justin pointed out. He said, I would know as soon as I heard it.
Yeah.
You guys know what Ada is, right? You ever heard that fucking buff? I'd let that dude hold me. Dude, he fucking said it so mature and like it was super sexual. It's like Ada, and I'm like, oh man, woof. I had to question my own sexuality for a second there.
I had fucking burst out laughing, and because I was in Discord with Matt at the time, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "I never thought that I would like have some shit happen in an anime that threw me off."
It was like on levels of, if you know Crony, it was like that, but if a man said it, like that dude. First of all, beautiful looking man. Also, his shirt design is super. It throws me off because he's wearing a popped collar like dress shirt underneath like a cardigan thing that's like all tied here in a little nice bow, but it's not long enough for his body to begin with. It's too short. So like you see like abs, you see like 1, 2, 3 sets of packs, skip, then 4. It's like, this dude is fucking massive. And he can cook really well. Ladies, if you want a keeper, I don't remember his name. He's a keeper, though. I do like his...
his name is Lenny.
Lenny? Oh, that's right.
His music art is Titan. Her design is super cool.
Her design is really unique. Plus, I like how she just has a shotgun. She definitely had that badass moment in episode 4. She's like, just killed one, clack, clack, one hand shotgun rack, and then boom.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, it's definitely like a stamina thing, but they're always talking about you need to have a shitload of calories. Mm-hmm. So then the calories help power your thing. And it makes sense in Lenny's case that she could use a shotgun and go that long because big dude, he can keep a lot of energy in him, but then you get Takt and he's real scrawny of a dude. He's tall, but he's real scrawny. So, but it's weird. Like every single music card, is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Like every one of their designs so far has been pretty unique, minus the white armor girl.
Mm-hmm.
Hers is pretty, man.
Yeah.
But you can't have everyone like a banger, But definitely Titan, her design is like super well done. I really fucking like it.
Yeah, I went to the episode discussion because the RR is from like episode 3, and one of the top comments is that man's RR. Fucking second comment, certified Chad.
It's good. I think this will duke it out for one of the top shows of the season. Pretty much every single show we watch. To be fair, I'm watching 17 shows, but out of the 12 that we're watching together, I think almost every single one has a female character on the top 10 female characters of the week, minus I think one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty good show. The shows are pretty well stacked. I think Mieruko-chan went up to like spot number 1 for 1 week. I think it was last week's. So I'll be excited to see how this week ends as far as rankings go. Not that, you should pay attention to the rankings all the time, but definitely helps you pick out what show is better, what show is going to fucking suck. Other than that, that's pretty much it we have this week. Next week is the B list. Restaurants in Another World, which is what I'm watching. That's season 2. The Great Jaya Will Not Be Defeated. That's both of us. Comey Can't Communicate, which I'm super excited for. And then The World's Finest Assassin. Also, Irina the Vampire Cosmonaut.
Yeah, I already got one episode. I fucked up and watched one of the.
We're literally sitting in fucking Discord just as like, yo, I'm watching The World's Greatest Assassin. I can't wait to watch it. I'm like, you realize that's not for this week's podcast. He's like, well, I'm like,
yeah. For whatever reason,
Google Drive.
For whatever reason, my brain went World's Finest Assassin. Like, it's been 2 weeks since we've talked about that, and. Man, you're going to have a heyday with that one next week.
I got so much shit to watch next week.
Yeah.
Restaurants in Another World. I'm going to say it now. Man, those 3 episodes are great. I love watching the food. Boom, that's the summary.
Cool. All right.
It's a fun show just to watch. You have any other news? Oh, no, there was some news.
World's Finest Assassin. Preview. Titty.
No, there was news.
Wasn't there a mangaka that was hospitalized?
Yep, the mangaka, manga artist Chiba Tetsuya. So if you watch Hajime no Ippo, he's very, very well known for being like an artist in that. They don't think it'll be terribly bad. He's kind of older, to be fair, but they said he should be fine. He's just gonna be in the hospital a while. But as of today, while we were getting dinner, Jujutsu Kaisen's trailer dropped. Sorry. I like a lot of stuff popped up while we were getting dinner. I just wanted to mention it real quick. So Jujutsu Kaisen trailer dropped. Apparently people are losing their fucking shit over it. And then, I want this load. What was the other thing? So the My Hero World Heroes mission, North America box office on opening night surpasses Japan's opening in 10 days. So they earned more in U.S. box office the night it dropped than Japan did in the first 10 days. More than the previous 2. It also earns more than the previous 2 films. It earned $36 million on opening night. So we did see the movie. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, My Hero, the movie. It was good.
It was good.
Also, 2 things we didn't talk about.
We'll leave the movie for next time because it's running long.
Yeah. 2 things we didn't talk about. For 86. Apparently, there's a random explosion at the very end, and we're like, ugh.
I just wrote Hiroshima.
Yeah, and that was like, okay, we'll see you next week. Goodbye. And then for Takt Op, she knows how to change her tire very fast.
They fucking changed the tire in like 10 fucking seconds.
Yeah, I just had to mention that where I was like, those are like very big. Like
that rotor would be fucked. A whole car. That's an old car too, so it's fucking heavy as shit. Fucking whole car fell on the rotor. Nope, we changed the tire in 10 fucking seconds. We'll save the My Hero discussion probably till next week. Might be a special thing. Might be something we don't even mention. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
It was good.
We could like simmer on it and make an independent
7 out of 10.
Yeah, it was good.
With that?
For my first like My Hero movie to see.
First, you didn't what?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the other My Hero movies.
Oh shit!
I mean, this one definitely does play like a bit more.
Last one was better.
No.
More dramatic. First one was all right. It's literally sitting behind me.
Oh, cool.
All right,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.